what I've called not enough time for carols. And the backstory is that a number of years ago, Grayson and I were involved with our own early music ensemble, and they were much in demand around the Christmas season. And so we got these things called the Oxford Book of Carols, and you can see that there's tabs everywhere, leading us to, there's notes in here and verses crossed out. And one December, we performed 23 times. So we were quite busy and we used up a lot of carols while we were doing that. And some of the carols that I've been able to find for us to listen to come from some of the performances of those carols. And so there's some live music that you'll hear today. And most of the carols you'll find in the book, and we'll lead you to them as we progress. So the Oxford Book of Carols, that's what we have here. The source, if you will, of a lot of what I'm going to say about carols comes from the preface. So if anyone wanted to read the entire preface at the beginning of the Oxford Book of Carols, it's written by an Anglican priest and musician, and along with Martin Shaw and Ray Vaughan Williams, they edited the Oxford Book of Carols and published it in 1928. And you can tell from what is said in the preface that these guys were reacting to the Victorian era, where what they called neo-Puritanism of Anglican church music. I said, this is really dull stuff. I guess they wanted to provide the church with fresh music sources for especially the Christmas season, but for other seasons as well. And for maybe you're looking at more than half the book, you've got things that are Advent and mostly Christmas and Christmas Epiphany, but then there are Easter carols in here as well. So you can all see that in they're categorized. It's interesting how they created indices about, okay, here's a seasonal index. Okay, so use these carols during this season and so forth. And so I'm going to quote and rephrase things that they spoke of in the preface at the time when this was published.
I was happy to find one for Mothering Sunday.
Yes. Yes. If she's got ahead of the game here. Okay. What in essence that the songs are songs of religious impulse. They are sacred in intent and an impulse, though maybe sometimes the lyrics are not all totally sacred. Can consider things like Wassail. Okay, the song Wassail. It's a drinking song. Okay, but there are songs of religious impulse, and the characteristics they're simple. They're, in the words of Percy de Armour, the writer of the preface, they're hilarious. Okay, or probably or it might be joyful. Okay, and okay, they're popular in that they come from people, and they're modern. Okay, they're simple in that many of the carols have roots in folk poetry and music and traditional music, tunes that were collected. And since the writing of carols and so forth starts about the 15th and 16th century, we can probably tie them to the Protestant Reformation. Certainly, Martin Luther knew about all of the German drinking songs, and he said, I'm going to write sacred texts to these songs. Okay, and so we won't be singing the Latin Mass here in Germany. And the same goes for England when Henry VIII decided he didn't like the Pope interfering with his extramarital affairs. That's the the simpleness of it. The joyfulness of it is the very derivation of the word carol and of carols. You know, traces its roots through